Okay, today we're here to demonstrate how to make the Cheddar Bay Biscuits. You will learn some new techniques here and you will get to learn about some new equipment that many of you may have never seen. So our recipe calls for a lot of dry ingredients, and you're going to be making this in 2 days. I've already pre-measured everything, but I will review how to measure it. So it calls for 1 cup of flour that I've already put in the bowl. And the way you measure flour is you scoop it in your measuring cup until it's overflowing, and then you level it with your straight edge spatula back into the canister, and then you dump in your 1 cup of flour. We also need 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here. And how do you measure 3/4 teaspoon? Well, it depends. If you have a traditional set of measuring spoons, you can use 1/4 3 times, or you can do a half and a fourth, because that equals 3/4. And this set just happens to have a 3/4 teaspoon, so we got off easy here. But either one of those will work. And again, you scoop and you level with the straight edge. Okay. Salt, we need 1/8 teaspoon. Okay. Now you will be putting all of this into your bowl at once, but I wanted you to see it. To do 1/8 teaspoon, we have a 1/8 teaspoon here. If not, you could just do a really healthy pinch. Okay. Seasoned salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon. And every measuring set has that. So here's your 1/4 teaspoon. You would scoop it in, level it with the straight edge. You always level dry ingredients and ingredients that you pack. And garlic powder, a pinch of garlic powder. Okay. All right, so we're going to mix that with a wire whisk. This is a wire whisk. This is meant for mixing dry ingredients or super liquid ingredients like milk or raw eggs. You would never use it to mix dough, because all the dough will get stuck in the middle and then you're not mixing anything. So it's great for mixing the dry ingredients, and I am doing that so that one piece of the biscuit doesn't get all the salt or all the baking powder. Okay. And now we are supposed to cut in the shortening. Okay, so here's the shortening, and you need 2 tablespoons of shortening. Now shortening, you scoop and level. All right, so you're going to pack it in there and then level it with your straight edge spatula. Now to cut in, this is a tool called a pastry blender, and it's used for cutting in fat to flour, and shortening is our fat. So this is like doing 6 knives at once. It's not sharp though. Okay, so you're going to keep going over your shortening, and you want to break that into tiny little pieces. And as I do it, then every piece gets coated with flour. Okay, so you just keep cutting it into these tiny, tiny little pieces. And as they fall through, those get covered with flour, and then you cut them again, and those get covered with flour. And again, if you don't want to just sit and do this, because then you're not cutting, you're just stirring. You want to actually cut them into small pieces. Okay? And I don't see any big pieces of shortening left, so we are good to go. Okay? Then you're going to fold in your cheddar cheese, and we typically fold in using a rubber scraper. And you just kind of gently go across and stir it in very gently. You're not really stirring, you're going across the bottom and over the top. Now for your lab, you're going to put this in a Ziploc bag and then bring it, you'll finish your biscuits tomorrow. All right, but we're gonna fast forward to tomorrow. So we've dumped our Ziploc bag in here, so we're at day 2 now. And it says that we need to preheat our oven to 400 degrees, which we've already done, and we are going to pour in our milk. Now you need a 1/4 cup of milk. Okay, yep, 1/4 cup. So just to review how to measure milk, you use a glass or a plastic measuring cup that has a spout and you can see through it. Okay. And you're just going to pour the milk, and you're going to get it eye level so that you can see where the bottom of the milk is. Okay, so you want to make sure that the top of the milk is right at the line you need. And I've already pre-measured that, but I wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to pour the milk in. Now in my experience, I have found the best tool for stirring a dough by hand is a fork, because it helps break up the flour and get it wet with the milk. I have found that when I use a rubber scraper, I can't get the milk evenly dispersed through all the flour. Now, if you want to use a rubber scraper, you can. You'll just have to work a little harder to get all of that dough moistened by the milk. Okay. Now, you'll have to talk to your teachers. Right now, it's winter time that we're doing this demo, so all the flour is super dry. Okay, there's no moisture in the air. So it might be hard to get all of this, so you'll ask your teacher if they think you should add more milk. I'm going to add a smidge more, and I mean just a smidge. So that was probably half a teaspoon, just to help moisten that little bit that I couldn't get mixed in. This biscuit dough is a drier, this biscuit recipe is a drier recipe. There are recipes like for drop biscuits that are have more moisture in them. Okay? It should be crumbly like that. If it's all smooth, you have way too much flour, or I mean way too much milk or too little of flour. Okay? Now we're going to portion this onto a cookie sheet that's been lined with parchment paper. So I have a portion scoop here, so they're all the same size. And I'm going to pack it in there. And this should make about 4 biscuits. So that's 2 for each of you and your partner. Oh, that one got gypped a little bit. I'm going to add some more in there. Go. Stuck in here. And this last one I'm having to pack in. All right, so we are going to put these in the oven and bake them for 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be back to show you how to finish them. We are back and our biscuits are done. They're a light golden brown. So what you want to do is you're going to melt your butter and add your parsley and garlic powder to this. This butter only takes about 20 seconds to melt, and I have a different one in the microwave now. Okay. My students typically will put butter in there for a minute and it will explode all over the microwave, and then you have a huge mess to clean up. So it really only takes about 20 seconds. Okay. And this cup is so small. There we go, we got it in there. So this is a pastry brush, and there are different styles of pastry brush. Some of them actually look more like paint brushes. Okay, and you are going to put the melted butter over the top. Now in here is garlic powder and parsley for seasoning. And biscuits are best eaten warm. You can definitely eat them cold, but they're great when they come right out of the oven. I'm just going to pour some of this over here and then spread it. And if your biscuits do get cold, they microwave very nicely for reheating. Okay. There we go. Enjoy your biscuits.